Okay, so this isn't a remodel as far as I didn't rip out all the insulation and tear the walls down. The walls were in pretty bad shape, I believe, behind this wood paneling. It's just a quick view of what the bedroom used to look like, but which is horrible, as you can see. This was when we weren't using it. We were sleeping down in the living room on a mattress until it got remodeled. So I took some 2x8x8 planks from Lowe's, and I had to build new window frames and door frame, and I sanded those down and everything down to finish. I don't do that with everything in this situation, but yeah, that's okay. So as you can see, that's what the walls look like behind the trim. So some debris. Okay, that's the new trim up. Well, it's not up yet, it's just leaning there. When I was ripping the old trim out, there was just tons of stuff crumbling. Even if you tap on the walls, you can hear stuff crumbling behind it. And at first I wasn't even going to take the baseboard out, but I ended up doing that. But major difference with the new trim. I had to kind of make my own seals there. That's actually a furring strip. Speaking of that, the furring strips I used for the walls, that's what I used, or 3.5-inch furring strips, because it was the cheapest route that I could find, as far as Lowe's or Home Depot go. There they are. I think I picked up like a whole bundle. There's like 200, or there was like 150 there or something like that. I didn't even count. I don't remember, but I stained them all 3 different colors. There's black, there's dark walnut, and then there's gray. So those were the 3 colors. Well, I left a lot of them blonde too. So there's 4 colors in the mix, which you'll see here in a minute. But the staining is what took the longest of anything. I didn't show myself in a time lapse, hanging them all up. That's just with one wall done and then the trim stained. Well, I guess I have a little more than one wall there, but it was just a short process. But yeah, hanging it up was the fun part. I mean, a lot of people will think that is so time consuming and everything, but it's fun to actually see it all come together. So it really wasn't that bad. Oh, I also had to move outlets. I didn't show that process either, but that outlet that I just showed for the TV up there, it was lower than that and it was off to the right. I centered it. There it is again. I centered it and moved it up. And then the other outlet was that you see there in the middle of the wall. That's going to be behind the headboard. That was on the wall to the right, and I moved it over. I guess I could have included that into the video, but I just get too into the work and I get too busy that I forget to film certain things, because after all of this, time is of the essence with these projects. There's just a general frame. But okay, so here is where I started to scrape the old paint off of the floor. I was going to refinish the hardwood floor, and so I let it sit for 12 hours. I covered it in plastic with the stripper that I bought, and yeah, it's not a fun process, and the odor is extreme. I mean, the whole house was just there's the end result after stripping it the first time. As you can see, it's still there. So I tried my hand in sanding it off after I did it twice, and you could still see it. It would have taken me probably 2 solid days of sanding nonstop on my hands and knees. There it is after general sanding. and it was really rough. So I just laid a new floor. And I think it looks a lot better. I'm glad I went with that choice because I couldn't have got that finish from a natural floor, even though I would have much rather have gone natural, but it is what it is. Okay, so here's the baseboard. Just stained that dark walnut. I kept the trim, all the trim and the bed dark walnut, which you'll see the bed in a minute. But still have some odds and ends unfinished at that point. Here's the bed. Okay, so I didn't really have an idea for a headboard or anything. It was just in my garage, and I was looking at the leftover, wood that I had. And I had a lot of furring strips left over, so I decided to build my headboard vertical furring strips instead of going horizontal. And I had a 2x8 left over, so this is just what I came up with. I just whipped it up in like 15 minutes. It was, super simple, but I actually like the way it turned out. And then the gears kept going in my head, and I decided to add some lighting to it. And I decided to wire that up as well so that we could each have an individual light on each side. Now, might I add that all of this was very inexpensive. I mean, in lumber in total, for the bed and for the walls and everything, and for the trim I literally probably only have about $300 in lumber. It really wasn't bad. And there's my primitive tools here. I'm still rocking the old Black & Decker from... Those are probably 11 years old, but if they're not broke, why replace them? Maybe Ryobi will sponsor one of my videos and give me a bunch of free stuff, but I doubt it. Okay, so they're just drilling the holes for the lighting. These lights I got at Lowe's they were like $40 a piece. I love these lights. The bulbs I have there didn't fit. It's just a general wiring. I put a toggle switch on each side so that we could turn them on and off individually if one of us is up later than the other and we want to have a light on our side. Now I know this isn't the greatest wiring job. I'm not an electrician by any means. I'm a woodworker. I don't have any experience with electricity other than hooking up outlets and switches and some really, basic stuff. And I taught myself. I don't have anyone showing me what to do, so here it is on for the first time. But like I said, the bulbs were far too big to fit in the glass, so I had to take them back and get smaller bulbs, and then those bulbs didn't fit either, so I had to get even smaller bulbs that are in the shape of they look like Christmas lights almost, but they're still the Edison bulbs, and I really like them. Alright, so I laid some plastic down. I decided to build the bed up there instead of building it in the garage. I had some 2x10x8s, and I whipped up a bed. And I also wired an outlet on each side of the bed so we could charge our phones or whatever else at night. Anything that we want to plug in, we can do so. And the lights, they're the outlets that have a protective shield on the inside, so when you plug it in, that shield kind of moves aside. It's like spring loaded, but they're like child safety. Like you can't get electrocuted by rubbing up against it with your hand, or not that they're really accessible by hand, but you're not gonna be able to reach them. You're your arm's not going to accidentally graze against them when you're laying in bed, but still, you never know. You could be reaching for something and like touch the outlet, so whatever. But yeah, basic green is ground, black goes to your copper hot, and white goes to your silver white. I know you electricians out there are probably cracking up laughing at me. I'm this is about a joke of a job, but it works, and it's not a fire hazard, and everything works fine, so I'm not complaining. Got some wooden outlet covers to throw in there. I wanted it to, my basic, as you get into these projects, sometimes they change as far as your idea of when you started. I wanted it to kind of look like a log cabin look, but it really doesn't at all whatsoever, especially with all that gray in the walls and everything. And then I was kind of going for like a 1920s look, but then ultimately it's just going to come together as it comes together, and I like the way it came together for the most part. I hang blinds up there later. Camera's always out of focus, and then I hang my TV up as well. But I had some scrap wood, so I built some floating shelves instead of having nightstands over there. I had that in mind as well as I built the headboard. Had to finish some corners there. There's so many little odds and ends when you do projects like these that I didn't want to leave anything behind. I didn't want to forget things or put anything off, because then it'll just stay that way when I start the next project. I'll never get back to it. So I had to get rid of the old light fixtures too. That fan was junk, so I threw that cheap $50 light up there. If you haven't noticed, this room is very small. I can touch the ceiling with not much effort, standing flat-footed, and with that fan being so low, you'd almost hit your head off it when I was running. It was kind of dangerous, so I didn't really need a ceiling fan in there. I just went with a traditional ceiling light, and pretty much that's it. And there's the blinds, and the mattress did not come yet, but it's okay. Here's the mattress, and here is the finished product of everything. So there you have it. For under $500, I remodeled the entire bedroom. Though it's a small bedroom, I feel like it takes care of my needs as far as coziness, and it's a much needed improvement from what it was. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this gave you some ideas if you're looking to do yours, and stay tuned for more videos. If you like this video, give it a like. If you really liked it, subscribe to my channel. Helps out a lot, and we'll see you later.